You aren't overthinking. You are finally looking. You've spent months, maybe years, convincing yourself that you're the one with the problem. You call it your anxiety. You tell your friends you're sensitive. You stay up until 3 a.m. dissecting a single sentence they said, looking for a version of the truth that doesn't hurt. But deep down, in that quiet space you're terrified to visit, you already know. You aren't confused. You're being managed. They look you right in the eye and say, "You're just looking for a reason to be mad." No. You're looking for a reason to stay, and you're running out of them. Every time you bring up a boundary, they flip the script. Every time you ask for clarity, they give you a riddle. You've been gaslit into believing that your intuition is a mental health crisis. It's not. That knot in your stomach isn't paranoia, it's your soul screaming at you to wake up. They tell you, "I can't do anything right with you, can I?" That's the hook. That's how they make your valid pain feel like a personal attack on them. You aren't overthinking a mystery, you are documenting a crime. You are seeing the pattern. And the only reason you're calling it overthinking is because the truth is too heavy to carry alone. Stop lying to yourself. You saw exactly what you thought you saw. Let's be honest. You recognize this, don't you? This isn't your first rodeo with this feeling, this specific brand of gnawing doubt. This isn't anxiety. It's a pattern, a repetition, a playbook you've seen before. The scenes keep replaying, only the faces change. They started small, a forgotten detail, a missed text, a joke that didn't land. You brushed it off. They're busy. I'm sensitive. You excused it, you minimized it. This is how the game begins, slowly, insidiously. They didn't change overnight, you just finally saw who they are. Remember that time you brought up a concern, a simple request, "Could you just text me when you'll be late?" What happened? Did they apologize? No. They said, "You're always so demanding. Can't I just live my life?" Instantly, you're the bad guy, you're asking too much. You start to question yourself, you start to believe their script. You're not asking for too much, you're asking the wrong person. Or the classic, you found evidence, a little lie, a half-truth, something that didn't quite add up. Your gut screamed. You asked, gently, openly. Their response? A flood of anger, a rapid-fire accusation. "Why are you always looking for problems? Don't you trust me?" You got defensive, you got quiet, you apologized for their lie. This is the moment your reality starts to bend. They understand you perfectly, they just don't care enough to change. Then there's the emotional whiplash, the hot and cold, the sudden affection after days of distance. They only care when they feel you pulling away. You feel that brief rush of hope, maybe they finally get it. But it's a trap, a manipulation, a breadcrumb. It's just enough to reel you back in, to stop you from leaving. You're waiting for effort from someone who's comfortable giving you nothing. This isn't about being negative. This isn't overthinking. This is your brain trying to protect you. It's connecting the dots, recognizing the moves, the deflections, the invalidations, the silent treatments, the sudden shifts in blame. You are seeing the pattern. The truth is often simple, it's just hard to accept. You keep calling it a rough patch because the truth is harder to face. This feeling, this churning in your stomach, it's not a flaw. It's a compass. It's telling you something undeniable. This pattern. You're seeing it. And now you can't unsee it. Let's pull back the curtain and look at the gears. You think you're in a relationship, you're not. You're in a power struggle that you've already lost because you're the only one playing by the rules. It's time to stop looking at their potential and start looking at their mechanics. This isn't a series of accidents, it's a design. The first gear is the illusion of complexity. They love to make things complicated. When you catch them in a blatant contradiction, they don't explain, they obfuscate. They use word salad to make you dizzy. They say, you're oversimplifying things. Real life isn't black and white like you want it to be. That's a villain line designed to make your standard for basic honesty look like a character flaw. It's a smokescreen. They want you so busy trying to solve the puzzle of them that you don't notice the puzzle is empty. There is no depth there, just a lack of accountability. Next is the shifting baseline. This is how they boiled the frog. If they had treated you like this on day one, you would have laughed and walked out. So they waited. They tested your boundaries like a predator testing a fence. A small insult disguised as a joke. A forgotten promise. You let it slide because you're understanding. But every time you move your line to accommodate their bad behavior, that becomes the new normal. You've been negotiated down to nothing. Now, you're grateful for a day without an argument. Think about that. You are celebrating the absence of pain and calling it progress. Then there is intermittent reinforcement. This is the cruelest part of the machine. It's the gambling mechanic. If they were a monster 100% of the time, you'd leave. So they give you the 5%. The good version. The version that actually listens, for 10 minutes. The version that makes a plan and actually keeps it. You treat that 5% like it's the truth and the other 95% like it's a mistake. You're wrong. The 95% is who they are. The 5% is the bait. They know exactly how much kindness it takes to keep you from packing your bags. They also rely on the empathy weapon. They know you're a fixer. They know you have a high capacity for pain. So when you finally get angry, when you finally stand up, they pivot to their own vulnerability. They bring up their past, their stress, their darkness. They say, I knew you'd turn on me just like everyone else does. Instantly, the roles are reversed. You aren't the victim of their lie, they are the victim of your reaction. You end up comforting the person who just hurt you. Stop analyzing their trauma and start analyzing your own exhaustion. They aren't confused. They aren't broken in a way that you can fix. They are comfortable. They have a partner who does 100% of the emotional labor and asks for 0% of the accountability. Why would they ever change? This isn't a misunderstanding. It's a choice. And they are choosing themselves every single time. Look at your hands. What are they holding on to? You've been gripping the rope so tight for so long that you've forgotten you're the one being dragged. You call it loyalty. You call it commitment. But let's call it what it actually is, a slow-motion surrender. You are waiting for a version of this person that doesn't exist to come back and save you from the version of them that does. How much more of your life are you willing to trade for a maybe? You're waiting for them to change. You think if you just find the right words, the right tone, or the right moment, the light bulb will finally go off. You think they'll suddenly realize how much pain you're in and have a breakthrough. But they aren't having a breakthrough because they aren't broken. They are comfortable. They have exactly what they want, your presence without having to earn it. Do you really think they're going to wake up tomorrow and decide to give up the power you've handed them? Every day you stay is a day you are telling them that their behavior is acceptable. You are teaching them how to treat you. You are signing a contract that says, you can disrespect me, and I will still be here in the morning. This is the villain line they whisper to themselves every time you forgive a lie. If they were really going to leave, they would have done it by now. They aren't afraid of your anger. They are bored by it. Because they know your anger doesn't have teeth. It's just noise before the inevitable apology. How much of you is even left? You've pruned away your joy, your spontaneity, and your confidence just to fit into the cramped, dark space they've allowed you to have. You're living in a waiting room for a life that hasn't started yet. You're waiting for the rough patch to end, but this isn't a patch. It's the terrain. This is the landscape of your life if you don't move. Are you prepared to be here in 5 years? 10. Looking back at this exact moment and realizing you wasted a decade trying to convince someone to love you the way you already love them. The exit isn't locked. The door isn't even closed. You're just standing in front of it, waiting for them to open it for you. They never will. It's time to stop waiting for a closure that will never be handed to you. Closure isn't a conversation you have with them, it's a decision you make for yourself. You've spent months, maybe years, trying to get them to understand your pain, thinking that if they finally got it, they'd fix it. They won't. And the harder you try to make them see, the more of yourself you lose in the process. You don't need their apology to begin your life. You need your own permission to walk away. Reclaiming your power starts with a brutal inventory of the truth. Stop looking at what they said and look only at what they did. The gap between those two things is where your freedom lives. If they said they loved you but treated you like an option, the treatment is the truth. If they said they'd change but kept the same secrets, the secrets are the truth. You are not giving up on them, you are finally showing up for yourself. You need to build a wall where there used to be a bridge. This isn't about being mean or cold. It's about being precise. It's about realizing that your empathy is a finite resource and you have been pouring it into a cracked vessel. Every time you answer that late-night text or entertain that half-hearted, "I miss you," you are leaking. You are giving away pieces of your future to pay for a past that didn't work. Stop. Here is the truth they don't want you to know: you are terrifyingly powerful when you are indifferent. As long as you are angry, as long as you are crying, as long as you are arguing, they still have you. You are still in the game. But the moment you stop explaining, the moment you stop reacting to the bait, that is when the spell breaks. You don't need to have a grand plan. You don't need to know where you'll be in a year. You just need to decide that today is the last day you accept less than you give. You deserve a life that doesn't require a translator. You deserve a connection that doesn't feel like a constant negotiation for basic respect. The weight you are carrying belongs to them. Put it down. It was never yours to carry, and it certainly isn't yours to fix. You've done your time in the waiting room. The door is open. The only thing keeping you in that chair is the habit of being small. Stand up. Walk out. Don't look back to see if they're watching. They've seen enough of you. It's time you saw yourself. This is the part where you look for a softer way out. You're waiting for a sign, a miracle, or a sudden burst of courage that makes this feel easy. It won't feel easy. It will feel like pulling a tooth. It will feel like mourning someone who is still sitting right in front of you. But discomfort is not a reason to stay, it is the price of admission to a life where you can finally breathe. You've spent enough time being an extra in their drama. You've been the cushion for their falls and the excuse for their failures. The truth is, they aren't going to stop taking until you stop giving. They aren't going to realize your worth until your absence is the only thing left for them to look at. You already know the answer. You've known it every time your stomach knotted up when their name flashed on your phone. You've known it every time you had to lie to your friends to protect their reputation. The question isn't, what should I do? The question is, how much more of yourself are you willing to lose before you decide you've had enough? If you decide to